Hey, how's it going, guys? Here with another awesome unboxing. This is a biggie. Been doing a lot of big knives recently. Definitely wanting to gear up the channel with some awesome videos for you guys. And this one is no exception. As you can tell by the box, it is a Chris Reeve. I took it out of the box that it was sent in. This one came from a guy on Facebook, really nice guy. Got it to me really quick. And as you can see, it's a large Insingo plain edge in flat dark earth. That's the big thing for this guy. I've always wanted one of the FDE Chris Reeves. Super hard to get your hands on, at least it was for me. And when they did, they were always really expensive. This one popped up. I had the cash and decided to go for it. So let's take a look at some of the paperwork you get. Large Insingo. Mine is in the Insingo blade shape. Flat dark earth. And let's see, it's got some more kind of a breakdown of the knife. Chris Reeve sticker. Let's see what else we get. Chris Reeve knives. That's about it for the pamphlet. You get your tools. This one was brand new, so obviously everything is completely stock as you'd expect. Here's the box. Here's the knife. Set this stuff aside and get into what really matters. The beautiful Chris Reeve knives cloth that you get from all of his stuff. Check out this bad boy. And for this unboxing, poured myself a little glass of Chardonnay. Just got home from work and this was on my doorstep. So there it is. Man, that's awesome. I really like how this is coming across on the camera. Some of the pictures I've seen make it look a little bit darker and less tan. In person, this is much more just your standard flat dark earth tan, which is exactly what I wanted. Beautiful coating. Man, that's cool. I love the contrast of the FDE against the hardware, the silver hardware. I think it looks really, really cool. Man, look at that thing. So the story on this, guys, was it was a Knife Center exclusive. And I can tell you when they dropped. I think they all dropped on the same day, if I'm not mistaken. April of 2020. So what is that? I mean, be 3 years ago in a few months. And so, yeah, this thing has been sitting in a guy's safe this entire time. He said he hadn't used it, brand new in box. And I picked it up. Sure, I paid a little bit more than the original drop price, as you'd expect. Centering looks perfect. But I wanted a special Chris Reeve. I was hankering for one, and like I said, I had the funds for it, and I went for it. Beautiful knife. Silky smooth action. You can tell it's not been broken in yet. It's very smooth, but it's kind of got, when you get a new Chris Reeve, they're kind of not completely smooth throughout. There's spots of it being smooth. It's just that the grease really has not had time to spread. And the more that you use it, it's going to just get smoother and smoother and smoother. Man, so I've had one Cosi before. This is my Sabenza 21, the old school 21, not the new 31 or whatever they're calling it these days, the original 21. You can tell the handle profile is a little bit different. Adjustable pivot. This one has got the bushing pivot, ceramic detent ball, non-ceramic detent ball. This has just got the titanium on the, I can't remember if it's I think it's carbidized, I believe. I can't remember if it's carbidized or carburized. The block bar interface. But no stick to speak of, just a little bit of a hydraulic stick. So the Insingo is an awesome knife. Like I said, it's got that ceramic detent ball. This one's lockup is super deep. because if you look, you see that detent ball track? I'm trying to get my camera to see it right there, how it's about 50%. Let's see. There you go. That's a better view. You see how it ends about 50% right in the middle of the blade tang? That's where it's meant to lock up. When you look at it like this, it looks like it's 75%. It's because it's a ball, and so the ball, the outmost diameter of that ball is intersecting with the blade right in the center. But it's going to make it look like the lockup is super deep when really it's 50%, and that's exactly where it's intended to lock up. Let's see if we can see. About the same thing on the steel on titanium interface is 50% as well, but it doesn't look as deep to the naked eye because it doesn't have that ceramic ball, meaning the diameter is closer to the middle of the lock bar. So for those of you that have Umnumzons or any of the newer variants that have the ceramic ball detent, that's just something to know. So when you see these and it looks super deep, don't freak out. That's how it's intended to be. Really shouldn't move much. I think they settle in about right there. It's not supposed to wear anymore over the life of the knife. So yeah, this one is exactly as it should be, perfectly centered, as all Chris Reeves are supposed to be. If they're not, send them in. You have either a pinched washer or something didn't get properly QC'd, but they all should be very centered. Beautiful, smooth lockup, blade geometry. Looks right on the money. Super hair splitting sharp right out of the box. And man, that is just a good looking knife. I'm a sucker for FDE anyways. And to get one of these with the coated, with the full FDE coat is just really, really, really good looking to me. I love it. And having, let me grab my other Chris Reeve I've got. So I've got my 21. I've got my Zon in a Tanto, and I've got my 21 in just the drop point. And so for me, I really wanted to have the most variation I could in the fewest amount of knives as possible. I'm trying to trim back my collection. So having a Tanto Zon, a Inkosi Insingo, and a 21 drop point, to me, was just ideal. I think that this one is the OG. It was my first Grail knife that I fell in love with, as with a lot of guys watching Apostle P video back in the day when he proclaimed that the 21 Sabenza was the EDC perfection in a folder, that it didn't get any better. Ever since watching that video and a few others, this is what I wanted. I actually had Apostle P do the edge on it for me and do his tune, and it's beautiful perfection. I'm never getting rid of this knife. It's mine for life. But I wanted it in a drop point, the same way that his came. So that's the story with that one. The Tanto Zon I bought from my good buddy Jason. I've mentioned his name several times, and I love that it's an Zon. I love the Tanto blade shape. Back in the day, I think there was only one company that you could get the Tanto Zon from, or maybe the Tanto altogether. I can't remember that company's name. I don't know if they're even still in business anymore, but that variation I think only came from them. This is way back in the day. And so I'm really glad to have this in this combination. I don't really like the Tanto in any other version of a Chris Reeve knife. It doesn't look right to me, but this one does. So I have the Tanto version in the knife that I would want it to be in. And then that left me with getting a Inkosi, and having an Inkosi with the Insingo blade, which I think is a phenomenal EDC blade, that Warncliffe, sheep's footy type blade, great for opening packages, great for food prep, whatever, your common tasks, and then also having it in FDE. It's just, I feel like the variation of my Chris Reeve collection is just perfect right now. I do want to pick up a small Sabenza. I had one recently and sold it. It wasn't the exact version that I wanted, wine break. It wasn't the exact, you know, it was Mercarta. It was a 31, but it had S35 yen, not S45 yen or Magna Cut. And so it wasn't exactly ideal for me. I do plan to get a small Sabenza probably at some point, but it's going to be, I don't know, maybe a Damascus one. I don't know, something different, something unique, and I'll know it when I see it. I also want to get an Mnundi at some point, and that's kind of going to be my Chris Reeve collection, most likely, at least as I see it right now. Maybe get a Wilson Combat. I used to have one. I actually had a couple back in the day. Once the prices come down on that, maybe I'll do something like that. But right now the prices are just way too high for me to feel like spending the money on one. So, of course, the Monkey Edge ones that come out, things like that, those will always pique my interest. But right now, I'm very happy with the collection as it stands. I think that they're just something about a Chris Reeve. It's just you get all these fast Shirogorovs and Custom Knife Factory Evos with the bearings and multi-row bearings and all kinds of crazy enough. And then you pick up Chris Reeve, and there's something just refreshing about, they're not quick to change. This still runs on phosphor bronze washers. It's still got that silky smooth Chris Reeve-like action that you depend on. The QCing is always phenomenal. It's got that OG kind of aesthetic. There's something that is refreshing, to me at least, about the simplicity of them. The fact that people wig out over this knife just because it's got a cool FDE coating on the entire thing, and it's just 2 slabs of titanium. And this one's an S35 VN because it came out a while back, but people still love them, respect them. There's something about them that's endearing. They hold their value very well. Yes, the prices have gone up recently. Not surprising. The price on everything has gone up recently, given the new commodity and price environment. Totally makes sense that they need to raise their prices. All the guys that gawk at it, I think, is absolutely ridiculous. They've kept their prices the same for many, many years, and they're in the business to make money and to sell knives. And when steel prices goes through the roof as it has, and equipment and just the cost of labor, everything else has gone up. So too should their knives, and I don't think they've gone up disproportionately to the current market that we're in. So that's my soapbox. And it's also, guys, it's the same for every knife company. Everyone's raised their prices. So why you would just dog Chris Reeve, I don't understand. I have seen that, which is kind of bizarre, but no, I'm happy to pay the prices. I paid a little bit more for this than it was originally due to the appreciation of this knife, and was happy to do so. The guy who sold it to me was phenomenal to deal with. Thanks, man. You know who you are. And yeah, I know this is a really long-winded one, but I think it's more about just Chris Reeve in general and not just this specific FDE variant, but very cool, beautiful knives. Chris Reeve will always have a fond place in my heart and collection, and I will for sure be doing more videos on Chris Reeve as I get more in. I think this is my entire collection right now, though. I sold the small 31 that I had, and I used to have a Nyala back in the day, the fixed blade, and I had a green beret back in the day. I've had several Sabenzas and Umnumzans, none of them that crazy special, and these are the ones I've landed on. So yeah, that's the Chris Reeve new large Nkosi Insingo in FDE from the Knife Center exclusive drop from a few years ago, guys. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you're not, to see more awesome knife content. And honestly, anything else I think is cool. I've been doing a lot of different trying to diversify my videos to keep it interesting. Anything from clothing to fragrance to knives. I'm into all that type of stuff. So anyways, subscribe if you're not. I appreciate you guys watching. And let me know in the comments below what you think of this FDE variant Chris Reeve. And I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys. See ya.